evening will have a different flavor to it as we enter into Lent. Today is Ash Wednesday, which has its origins all the way back in our church to the hundreds, the 200s, the 300s. It is a period that starts 40 days before Easter, and it's for us to change our direction. It is for us to focus on what has already been done. It is for us to continue that great relationship with God that was started with a promise. I've used a compass once before, and I keep it in my office. It helps remind me, sometimes symbols do, of what's important in my busy day. And when I see it on my bookshelf, it always reminds me that I should be pointing toward God, toward the truth, true north in my life. That I should ever be focused toward Him and not myself in my life. And there is no period in the Christian calendar that brings us back to the reality of who is in charge and where our true life and blessings come from than during Lent. Like I said, Lent begins with a promise. And through this promise of what God has already done, it allows all of us to truly deepen our relationship with Christ. When the promises of God hit here and in our lives, we learn what Christianity really means. We learn what love really is. We have an everlasting relationship that will have no end. And so for Ash Wednesday, let us go right back to the beginning and take a look at a promise that changes the world, changes our lives, and allows us to experience that great relationship with Christ like never before. Exodus 20 brings us to the 10 Commandments as we know it. But before the commandments were uttered, God gave us an incomprehensible promise. And we start there today. Exodus 20, verse 1. And God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God. I am the Lord your God. Before the Lord utters one command for our life, He gives us the promise that brings us into these very seats this evening. I am God. I am the Creator. I am all-powerful. I am all-knowledgeable. I am everything. You cannot even glimpse me without dying. You cannot even comprehend me. I am God. And I give myself to you. With this incredible promise, God giving Himself to us, this all-powerful I am Lord that has no end, that has no limitations, that has absolutely no restrictions, comes to everyone and says, here I am. I am giving myself to you. What does this mean? It means that every physical need that we require will be met by I am. It means that every spiritual need that we could ever require will be given by I am. Not by a government, not even by another family member or a great hero. Everything that we will ever need, ever require, God has promised us without end and without limitation. We would not have Lent if God did not make this promise. Because what did we need more than anything? We needed the Lord, the Son, Jesus Christ, to come and to die for us. In the I am your God, He is making a promise that would be fulfilled in Jesus Christ. He would come, He would die for us, and be reborn, be resurrected, and fulfill our spiritual needs. This great Father in heaven gives us everything. And yet with this promise, there is resistance. To have somebody say, "And all I am God," come and say, "I will take care of everything." There is still something in the human heart that resists. And so quickly, we turn from this I am all-powerful, giving, loving God. We turn from the Creator and turn to the creation to provide. To some great job, to the handout, to the stuff that we buy, to all the great idols around us. And so God in this great promise said, because I am going to take care of every one of you, you shall have no other gods, because you will not need them. I am, and I will take care of every one of us. And with this promise, He moved on to the second command then, and said, since I am giving myself to you, then you better know my name. And so He gave us His name with the command, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. This eternal, everlasting promise, this eternal I am who has given Himself to us, is now creating that relationship. And so He gives us His name, so that when we ever have a need, we can call upon Him. Whenever we are suffering and in despair, we can call upon Him. And with this great name, He then establishes what would eventually be a focus for Lent. Commandment number 3, honor the Sabbath.